So Netflix just dropped a sequel to one of my favorite anime of all time, Parasyte Maxim, the horror action anime about a race of body-snatching alien parasites that have come to Earth. And it's a freaking live action? Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to Finn Films. Join me today as we discuss another one of Netflix's newest live action anime, Parasyte The Grey. So Parasyte Maxim is a science fiction horror manga and anime created by Hitoshi Iwaki, and it fucking slaps. Okay, so right off the bat, I have to say that this series is by no means for everyone. I mean, it is a horror series, specifically a body horror series about a parasitic-like alien creature that snatches human bodies and then masquerades themselves as a human until suddenly they split their heads open, revealing the horrifying creature inside. Parasyte Maxim, the manga and anime, centers on a 17-year-old high school student named Shinichi who is attacked by one of these larvae-like creatures. However, the parasitic creature is unable to take over Shinichi's brain and is only able to control his right hand. Shinichi and this parasite, who he names Migi, meaning right in Japanese, must then work together in order to survive and defend themselves from the hordes of other parasites that have body snatched people all over the world. The Parasyte manga is an absolute freaking banger, and its Madhouse anime adaptation is beloved and praised by many, so you can imagine then my surprise the other day when I open up Netflix to see a live action Parasyte sequel called Parasyte The Grey. Parasyte The Grey is a Korean live action telling a completely new and unique story in the Parasyte universe, taking place seemingly alongside at the same time as Shinichi's story from Parasyte Maxim. Parasyte The Grey focusing on a collection of three main characters in South Korea. First off is Seo Kang-woo, a small-time gangster who is caught up in this whole parasite madness when he goes looking for his lost sister. Second is Choi Jong-kyung, a fucking badass cop who is the leader of an elite Korean task force called Grey Team that has been put together to hunt down and eradicate these alien parasites. And finally, Jong Soo-in, a trauma victim who, like Shinichi in Parasyte Maxim, is forced to coexist with a parasite that fails to take over her brain. Now, I'm only 3 episodes into this 6-episode mini-series, but goddamn, this show fucking slaps, and it is easily one of the best live actions that Netflix has put out over the last few years. Now, again, I have to say that this show is not for everyone. It is violent. It is very much a sci-fi horror show with a real focus on body horror, if you couldn't tell from the way the parasite splits open the head of its human host. Even if you've never seen Parasyte The Maxim before, it's very possible that you've seen this panel, or maybe even possibly the GIF from the anime that is taken from this panel. This scene is probably the most iconic scene from Parasyte The Maxim, and I really think that this scene captures the true horror, the true body horror that our author Iwaki is really going for and became known for with his Parasyte The Maxim series. I've talked about live actions a lot over the last year, but Netflix, along with basically seemingly every other streaming service, have gone all in on the live action. Whether it's a live action for a video game, like the upcoming Fallout live action series, or Paramount's Halo live action series, or an American cartoon like Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender live action, which came out just a month ago, or one of the many other copious live actions of Japanese anime. It makes sense, though, to me why all of these streaming companies have seemingly gone so hard on the live action format. At the end of the day, these streaming companies need to maintain a consistent stream of content, specifically content that they know that people are going to watch. So what better way to get a bunch of people to watch your show than to make a live action or to tap into an already established fan base? This is kind of mirroring the same logic that Disney Plus has done with many of their series, such as their mini Marvel series or their Star Wars series, as Disney Plus, like all the other streaming services, needs a steady stream of content. So what better to do than to milk these two fan bases for everything that they're worth? and ended up making absolutely horrible shows. But unlike those Disney Plus shows, many of these live actions actually turn up to be good, or at the very least mid. Netflix have really come a long way since their early forays into the live action genre. I mean, who can forget the freaking Death Note live action, easily one of the worst live actions of all time. Now though, I have to give them credit where credit is due. Overall, Netflix quality of their live actions is so much higher than what it was early on. Parasyte The Grey, I think, is an awesome new way to kind of approach the live action format, the live action anime. The fact that they use a basically new standalone story for Parasyte Grey, but within the Parasyte universe, instead of just retelling the story of the manga or the anime, makes it feel so much more fresh and so new, and it allows the story writers to really get creative and push the boundaries when making this show. It also really helps that a story like Parasyte really lends itself quite well to the live action format, especially when you compare it to a much more like fantastical live action anime like the One Piece live action, as Parasyte is much more convincing in its live action form because, well, it takes place in our real world modern society, so it's like way easier to adapt it to be a much more kind of believable, realistic live action. Another reason why I think Parasyte The Grey works so well as a live action is it just kind of doesn't fall into a lot of the same pitfalls and traps that a lot of, well, not great live action animes do. For starters, there's not a lot of like references for references' sake. Obviously, if you're a fan of Parasyte The Maxim, you'll pick up on a lot of these kind of like maybe more obscure references to the anime or to the manga. But in reality, you could sit down and watch Parasyte The Grey, not having seen Parasyte Maxim the anime or really knowing anything about the Parasyte universe, and you could understand and enjoy this show. Obviously, there is one really glaring reference kind of oh shit moment in this show that I think was really cool, but the fact that they only limited it to like basically like one kind of main Easter egg reference I think is awesome. And don't worry, we're not going to be spoiling anything for Parasyte Grey in this video. I mean, technically this isn't even the first like Parasyte live action, as Toho made a 2-part live action movie of the Parasyte anime, which was released in 2014 and 2015. At its core, Parasyte is an action horror story that questions what is the true essence of being human, as throughout the story we see the many parasites becoming much more adjusted to their lives as human copycats, the parasites constantly questioning what their purpose is on our earth and what it means for them to live and survive, and how they really aren't that much different to humans. I highly recommend both the Parasyte anime, the manga, as well as Netflix's newest addition to the Parasyte universe, Parasyte Grey, the live-action sequel. Obviously, this show is not for everyone, but if you're like me and you love horror, like psychological horror thriller, then you will not be disappointed by Parasyte Grey, as in my opinion, this show seemingly does everything that you would want from a live-action adaptation. It is both extremely loyal to its original source material and the world that was created, while also bringing something new to the table. It's also really fun and cool to see a collaboration between Netflix, Parasyte's creator Hitoshi Iwaki, and the Korean director Young Song-ho, a master of horror who was the director behind one of my favorite zombie horror films of all time, Train to Busan. With all of this being said, Parasyte Grey might be one of the biggest surprises to me of 2024, as I would never have expected a sequel of a super popular anime series to be released in live action format of all things, but it actually just works so freaking well. Out of all of the live actions that are going to be released throughout 2024, Parasyte Grey might actually end up being the best of all of them when the year is all said and done. As always, guys, though, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know yours in the comment section down below. Are you going to watch Parasyte Grey? What do you think of all of these mini live actions that streaming services are so obsessed with? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, learn something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as your engagement on this video is the easiest way to help support me and help support the channel and to keep these videos coming. If you did enjoy this video, then why don't you check out one of the videos on screen now, like one of our many other forays into the many different live actions that have come out over the last few years. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Drink your water, hug your mother. Until next time, peace, love, Aru.